Y is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
My co-host Heidi is in the other box. She is
Hi.
active somewhere else. Where you're at the beach, right?
I actually am. I am at the beach.
I see a dog.
Yes, I normally would have my camera on, but I'm on vacation in Hilton Head. So I'm on the beach, but I really didn't want to miss talking to you. So I opted to keep the camera off so I could be here.
Okay, good. Well, at least we're connected.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
So to get started on the conversation, you were one of the first group of Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, correct?
I was the last high school set of cheerleaders in 1971-72 before they went pro in 72. So prior to my year, and there were boys and girls cheerleaders, and we started in Fair Park at the stadium in Fair Park our year. Texas Stadium was not built yet. Mm-hmm. So during my year, Texas Stadium was built, and we moved into Texas Stadium mid-season of 1971. And I was a senior in high school at that time. There were 5 black cheerleaders and 5 white cheerleaders. 2 sponsors, 1 black sponsor. Roberson was the black sponsor that we had, and D. Brock was our other sponsor. And Tex Ram was, of course, the owner at the time. So we moved in September to the stadium and actually have
there program. We go. Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
I have the program from that game of the first.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the first, and let's see if I can find the picture. So it had, let's see, I should have opened it. Oh, there we are. Okay, look here. This is our picture. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so at the time it was very exciting, of course. And when we tried out, I don't know, they invited people from high schools that were on a drill team or were a cheerleader. So I tried out the year before when I was a sophomore for my junior year, and I didn't make it. And then my junior year, I made it, and I was a senior. So that year we moved to Texas Stadium, and that was also when the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl. So I have some other things I'll show you.
This is great. This is show and tell.
I know. So our Super Bowl was January 16th, 1972. This is a Pepsi, and it's full. This was my thing that I wore around my neck. And in order to get to that Super Bowl, we had to raise the money. The Cowboys did not send us automatically. Okay, this somebody found on, look at this. They found this.
Wow.
This is
That's amazing.
I know. Someone found this on YouTube and blew it up and sent it to me for a present. It was one of the O'Brien sisters that were cheerleaders later after us. Yeah. Anyway, she had it made for me. And so I never saw that picture before. And then here's another thing I'll show you. Okay, this is my football. So there's my picture. So we all kind of have these footballs now that we can have made. Mm-hmm. And also at the time in 72, when we went to the Super Bowl, we didn't get these little rings, these pinky rings. And later on, years later, the Cheerleader Association, or the Cowboy Cheerleaders, went back to the 60s and 70s into the boy and invited everyone that had been a cheerleader and gave us all rings, because that didn't start until Suzanne Mitchell. I think she's the one that started the rings. And so we went to New Orleans for our Super Bowl.
As a high school senior, I feel like we need
Yes.
to specify. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were only 17. So at
What
that
could go
point,
wrong?
well,
Right.
nothing.
Possibly
We were
go
gone.
wrong.
We flew and we were gone for 3 days. And when we got back, of course, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. And when we got back, well, while we were in the airplane, someone ran in and said, "Oh my gosh, you're on the front page. You're on the front page." And so I saw the paper. One of my other cheerleaders had got there first. She got the paper. Well, later when I was 40 years old, I went back and I did the microfiche and I found the paper, because I was on the front of the paper. And I don't even have it. I mean, I don't have it with me, but
Right.
I was on the front of the paper, but I always wanted to see it. So it was pretty exciting. I took a taxi and it was on microfiche by then. But anyway, going back, there were 5 black cheerleaders and 5 white cheerleaders. And we would come together at the Holiday Inn on 75 and practice every Saturday. And we danced and we did cheers, and nothing like the cheerleaders now, where they're very professional. They own studios, and we were, of course, in high school. So whatever, I think that someone may have come to the Cowboys and said, oh my gosh, these girls are only 17 and it would be really bad if something happened to them. So the next year made them 18 and older. And if you can see, this was my uniform. It was a skirt.
Yeah.
Cowboys colors, blue and
Yes.
silver there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I had white boots. And the next year when they became pro, then they cut the uniforms, and made hot pants. So I wasn't in on that group, but it was an amazing time in my life, because my high school was Sunset High School in Oak Cliff. And at the time, there was no busing or integration at all in those years. And so we did not go to school with our black cheerleader friends. They came from other schools. So the interesting part about it is the only difference we felt was that they could dance and we couldn't very well. They taught us a lot that way. And but we are sisters. And until this day, we still see all of them except one out of the 10. We still come together, we still communicate, and we do go once a year. The Cowboys have a reunion for us, and so all the years come together, and we have jerseys that have 1971 or 72 on the back of them, and we do a halftime. And sometimes the halftime is Susan Coleman halftime, but it's really fun. And so we see the current cheerleaders, and then all the cheerleaders all the way back. I've never really, can't say that I've seen too many from the 60s come back, but it's really fun. And we spend a whole weekend together.
That's amazing. I love that you're all still close and you all get together. So full disclosure, which Luke may have shared with you. So I was born in 75. So when I was like 3, 4, 5 was the height of sort of the going on the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders on the Love Boat, Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader movie. My first dream job, that my entire goal in life was to be a Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader. I was going to go to school. I was going to go to Michigan State University and be a cheerleader there so that I could become a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. And so it's so exciting to talk to you, because I used to wear my cowboy boots everywhere because I was training to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Yeah. So as a high schooler and being at the forefront of this all happening and seeing how it became they became such this sensation.
Oh,
What was
absolutely.
it like watching that, having
Well,
been at the forefront of it?
oh, well, I can't even explain the electricity when I was, 17. I mean, I can't even imagine it was so exciting. I can't even tell you. And the interesting thing is I could have graduated when I was a junior, had enough credits, but I'd made Cowboy Cheerleader, and I worked in a dental office from 7 o'clock in the morning till 12 in the afternoon. Then I went to school and I just kind of fooled around because I was a cheerleader in high school too. So I really didn't need to stay. I could have graduated, but I stayed because how exciting is that, you had to be in high school. So it was just another time, and it's so exciting. And it's not even explainable how much we learned from, even our sisters, that were cheerleaders with us, and spending time with them. And we had never really been to school together. So there was a lot to learn. I mean, they would touch our hair and, how do you do that? And how come your hair is so curly? And why is yours so straight? And we became lifelong friends, and we still are. And they're very beautiful girls, kept themselves very good. But watching the current Cowboy Cheerleaders now, we're pretty much in awe of how beautiful they are and how successful and how professional, and so different from when we were there. We were just kids. And so I and then as years went on, there was 30 or 40 of them that became cheerleaders. Some of them went to, overseas and with the troops. And so we didn't do all that. But what we did do is we were paid $10 a game, I think it was $10. And we got 2 tickets. And at the time when we made Cheerleader, they would let us, when Texas Stadium was new, they let us up into the stadium club. That's where this picture was taken. Mm-hmm. And we were in with the press. They provided lunches for us, and we were in with the press, and we were pretty hotsy-totsy, right there. And then after that, they moved them over to another room, and kind of in where the players came down in the terminal there. Mm-hmm. And anyway, we would get promotional. We would be asked to go to Metzger's Milk or and show up there, and then the monies that we got from that day we would be able to keep. But we didn't make anything, of course, in our salary or whatever. But it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that then. It wasn't at all. It didn't matter. And I don't think that they make very much now. But what they do have is, for professional ladies that have dance studios, it's wonderful. And I'm sorry, Heidi, that you missed some of that.
I know. Well, what happened was I wanted to take a gymnastics class and tried to learn how to do a cartwheel, and I could never master it. And then my hopes and dreams were crushed. Although now I realize I probably would have been a great base for helping people stunt because I'm so tall, but missed my chance. It's okay. I still have the dream. Someday I'll be the oldest Dallas Cowboy cheerleader ever.
And you said you practiced on Saturdays at the Holiday Inn.
Yes.
How many hours a week was that? Was it?
It was all day on Saturday. We just met there, and we were all from all different schools, so we just went there, and that was where the Cowboy office was.
At the Holiday Inn.
At the Holiday Inn.
That's insane.
It was amazing.
Yes, it was in a building, I guess, at the Holiday Inn area, and so we stayed all day with each other.
And I know the Cowboy cheerleaders especially had certain songs that in different seasons they would perform to that became their, kind of one of their routines were known for these songs. Was there any of those in your era that you worked on?
No, I don't even not really. I mean, we did dance, and I don't have that memory.
Right.
What I do have a memory of that's really kind of funny is when we first entered that stadium, the crowd, they'd never kind of seen it. And we moved around like they do now, but there were only 10 of us, but they threw hotel keys at us. And of course, D. Brock was like, yeah, D. Brock was like, don't bend over. Don't
don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't even pay any attention to it. But that was a funny thing. And we had some funny, even Patty Head King and I, one time we were at a game, and we always walked out, and there, we got a call from the office one day, and they said, oh, there's some professional men that have a company, and they want to take some pictures of they want to take some promotional pictures of their companies. So we want you to come to the office. They're going to pay you blah. I don't even remember what it was. It was a couple $100 or something. And so they're going to pick you up, and it's fine. And we've everything is good, but bring another change of clothes, some hot pants is what they asked. So, okay. So Patty and I get in the car, and there's a vice president and a president of the company. And we get in the car, and they take us directly to lunch. Really nice place, very nice place. It's almost like we had a date. So then the next thing, they took us in front of like Kroger or something, and we stood on their car and they took pictures. And then we went up to their office in Turtle Creek and sat in the windows in our, uniforms. And there was a secretary there, so we didn't feel threatened or anything. And we said, well, we sure would like to have some of these pictures that you're taking later. Would you send them to us? Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Well, they drop us back off 4 hours later, probably. And very nice men. And Patty and I, to this day, think they had a bet. I bet you can't get a date with one of those cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I think, what happened. Never got the pictures. Never got the pictures. But it was so funny. And again, it was very safe. And the Cowboy, I mean, today they wouldn't, how would they be able to do that? They wouldn't. With a 17-year-old, no.
You don't normally see like Herb Ritz or any other David LaChapelle as far as photographers doing photos outside of Kroger, which maybe needs to come back. No. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So it was all really funny. It was just real funny. It was all up and up. But see, I feel like, Patty and I feel like, they probably had somebody else in that restaurant that was, it was probably a big bet.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Guys. The first time that I heard that they were even going to have us back, I was on an airplane, and Patty King came over, and it was she was a Southwest flight attendant, and she's retired now, but she leaned over and she looked at me and she said, is your name Sherri? And I said, yes. And she said, I'm Patty. And so at the time I said, well, do you know about the reunion? And so she said, no, I haven't been contacted. Of course, they couldn't find us. Our last names had changed to even tell us about it. But anyway, so we decided we were going to go to the reunion. And so we call, and they said, well, be sure and call and tell us what sizes you are. And we'll tell you what we need to order for you. Okay, so I call, ring, hi, Mrs. Sherri. I'm a size 6. I wasn't probably size 6. And I said, what are you ordering for me? And they said, oh, we're ordering you a cat suit. And I went, what do you mean a cat suit? I said, a black cat suit. And I said, well, explain that to me. And they said, well, it's spandex, and it's long sleeved, and it's, it goes down to your ankles, and it's all one piece. I said, okay, well, what else are you ordering?
Yeah.
What else are you ordering for us? And they said, oh, they'll give you they're going to give you something else at the game, a little vest to go over it. Okay. So I get to the game. Oh, in this cat suit, can't wear a thing underneath. I mean, you can't.
Well, of course you
thing
can't.
under it.
Nope.
So get to the game and they hand out these little tiny vests that go over it. And so I remember walking out on the field thinking the air's going through it, and of course there weren't very many cheerleaders there from the 70s, because I'm sure that after they figured out that they were going to wear a cat suit, all one
Right,
piece,
they're like,
probably went, I'm not coming. No, thank you. Don't
Yeah.
come."
I've got other plans that day. Right.
So I don't even know what year it was, but it was so funny. But I felt like I was naked, and I was pretty naked. Yeah. But now we have black we have blue jerseys that have our number on them, and we wear jeans and we wear boots.
Do you still have your white boots?
I
Or
don't.
did you go like,
I turned
I
I turned my uniform in because I am a rule follower, and
oh, of
I
course.
wish I hadn't, because all the rest of them
Yeah.
have theirs. Some of them have them.
Oh,
And one of those years that we got these rings, they had some mannequins, and they put all the different years of the uniforms up when we got our rings. And that was fun. But no, I don't have it. Yeah,
well.
it's too bad.
You got a lot of other really great stuff. I mean,
Yeah, and believe it or not, I didn't even take that many pictures of the Super Bowl and things like that, because that was Polaroid time, and I don't know.
The Super Bowl wasn't even
you just don't
the
think,
Super
oh my
Bowl.
gosh.
Right.
Yeah, I have some, and I have a picture where we're riding in the helmet car, and
Yeah. Great.
anyway, I actually married an NFL official, and that's been fun. That was in my second part of my life, and I didn't know he was even associated with football. It was a blind date. So we've had a nice life traveling, and he retired after his second Super Bowl about, let's see, now it's been 13 years ago. So
Wow.
Crazy. And so you did not
Know
meet
each
through a
other.
football event. Like
Nope.
it was not, that's insane. Again, I feel like I
know.
keep using that word, but like it's so interesting to see. And especially for you, kind of on the front lines of seeing the game and the country's overall obsession with it just grow and grow and grow, because, from your era, it's 8 years until the cheerleaders are on the Love Boat. And so you're so close to making port, but I mean, it must have been, what's that been like over the past, over the decades, seeing
just
the
watching
imprint just grow and grow
Yeah.
and grow.
Yeah, well, watching everything, it's been interesting because I saw so many different sides over the years, going back, you met you saw the evolution of the new cheerleaders and all their clothes and how beautiful they
Right.
were. And they would have a friends and family, and you would see them play the piano, and it just gave you a different perspective of, oh my gosh, this was so beautiful. I think during the documentary for Suzanne Mitchell, I really honestly can't say that I knew all of that they published about her and in the interviews. And it was very amazing to see how it developed in the USO part of it and what she did. Because I'll tell you, and even when we were 17, Dee Brock, Roberson, they really everything was strict. They cared for us. Nobody came around us. We didn't have association with the football players at all. I mean, we just didn't, and they didn't later on either. I mean, you got in trouble. They got in trouble if they got a piece of bubble gum from one of them, So she was very strict and what a lady. And so was Dee Brock, so was Ms. Roberson. And so it's not anything. I think the reputation of being little sex pots and things like that, it's so wrong, because they're really not, they're not out there hanging out, with players and things like that. So a lot of people don't really know. That's about the same thing as they don't know much about the NFL officials, and everybody thinks that they make tons of money. They make good money, but they don't make millions like some people think a football player does. And so and then they don't have a clue how much they work. Well, I don't know. I think since in that evolution of the different times where they started putting it on television, and you could see the tryouts on television, very different. But now they know what they're looking for, when they choose someone.
Right.
And if someone has years of being a cheerleader, 4 or 5, I didn't even try out the next year because I got on with my life a little bit, and I'd gotten out of high school and actually married at 19. So I didn't even go on. Could have, but I didn't. That's kind of the creme de la creme. If you've already been to the Super Bowl and you did that and kind of been there, done that, now I better grow up and get on with what I need to be doing. So anyway, and and I continued my career in the dental world. I ended up doing national consulting all over the United States, and then I did I retired about probably 6 years ago from that business. I was selling dental practices, so I stayed in that for 40 something years in that industry, and then along the way, Scott and I, we married in 2001.
That just makes me happy. The story just makes me happy. Like, it's just it's a good story.
Yeah.
Quick dental question. Do you floss every day?
I do, and I do.
Oh, you're gonna make us all look bad.
One of those little tiny. I do with one of those little tiny things.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can do.
Because everyone tries to, keep up with the correct dental practices, but doing it daily is difficult.
That's
so
right.
I just wanted to see if.
But let me tell you, my teeth are really important. See.
They are for everybody, but we're still lazy, even though they're important for all of us.
Yeah.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website, and don't forget to leave us a review.
Today's show is produced by myself and Heidi Hedquist. Our reluctant producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?